And we'll get started real quick here. Okay, just gonna wait for Hank. My husband's in there doing some work. I'm at the cottage today, so it's been kind of fun to have a relaxing time here at the lake over the holidays. We watched football all day yesterday. Got some cards sent and some things done. Glad that you're joining in with us here today. So just gonna wait for Hank to join us. Got a couple minutes. He's just a busy guy. Oh, thank you, Susan. Happy New Year to you. Actually, part of my story is I took off 30 pounds in 2018. I think I put 10 on over the holidays just because I was mindful. I was making a conscious decision to do that, but I did it anyway. So thank you. I'm back on track. I know what I have to do, and I'm choosing to eliminate sugar from my diet because that is the one thing that gets me every time. So again, wanted to welcome you for joining us today. I see a few of you coming in. Laura and Peter. Hey, Coach Weller, good to have you. Kind of just waiting. Hi, Tammy. I'm excited to start this new year off with Tammy Miller in business together, Tammy. It's awesome. So we're going to be recording this so that those of you who join will be able to access and watch this. I'm so excited to have a one-on-one conversation with Hank. Many of you know that, I think I'm looking at the list. You all know Hank. Hank's been my coach for the last year, and I'm excited to share with you some kind of my journey along the way of where I was a year ago to where I am today, and how we can all work together to come out with some of the same results over 2019. So hang on just a second. I am going to stream this live in a group. So give me a moment to get that set up. Okay, I see Hank's joined us. Hello. Unmute yourself. Are you a rookie?
I'm not used to being in control, so it's
like. Okay, I was just getting ready to stream this live over in a group, so let me get that going. Hey, all right. So I'm acting like a rookie right now. So here we go. I'm gonna share it in my Realtor's Business by Referral with Send Out Cards group because I promised him that I would. Okay, Hank, how are you?
Good. Long time no see.
I know, about an hour.
It's been a while.
I have enjoyed so much like being a part of your world for the last, 15 years, if we want to be exact, but really for the last 2 years of really watching you grow what you've created for you and your family. And, it's just so much fun to be a part of that. Steve and I are thrilled. And I kind of wanted to do this webinar so we could just share with people who are maybe wondering what they could do, like this is the time everybody looks back on what they did last year. How did it work for them? Was it a good year? Was it an okay year? Was it a sucky year? And then what can I do different or more of the same or less of? And so that's what you've been so instrumental with me in the past year. Really, it was, I think, December of 2017 when you and I started coaching.
Yeah.
And
I remember. That was when was that when we started coaching one-on-one? When did you come into 36 to Life?
That was the year before. So okay. I think I was a member of your first class or maybe your second class, which was in 2016, 17.
Time flies, right?
Right. So anyway, here's where I was in December of 2017, which was what, just 12 months ago.
Yep.
Steve and I were sitting good. You know, we have a good, strong real estate business. 100% referral, has been for forever. We have a good, solid send out cards business that I've been building and growing and nurturing for the last 11 years. And so I said, okay, here's our streams of income in 2017. Real estate, send out cards. And then the ancillary is our investments. We got smart and hired a financial advisor the year prior to that, and started to save. You know, a lot of people start that when they're younger. And you were instrumental in helping us make the decision to get a profit and loss together. Like, share your
I don't
passion.
think you made the decision. I said that this is what you're going to do if you want to coach with me.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, and we hired a bookkeeper in October of last year because it was our intention for years and years. And correct me if I'm wrong, like, how many people actually file their taxes on time and don't wait to the extension? Because we as business owners have the opportunity or the option to wait till October, but that puts so much, it makes it easy in April. Whew, I'll just put that off till October. But the reality is it doesn't make it easy. It just puts a lot of pressure on us throughout the year, because chances are we haven't taken care of our finances to be where we're supposed to be. So by the time October gets, we're like 10 months behind the 8 ball.
You know, that's where the whole concept of you can't out earn stupid came in, is because people do that and they didn't realize how much money they needed to pay in taxes. And they get that in October, they find out that they owed more than what they're planning on. And they've been making a bunch more money up until October. So now it's like a double whammy, and their only solution is to work harder, which 9 times out of 10 actually works against them. Yeah, we won't go into detail on that yet. If you're behind on your taxes, know that you can't out earn stupid. You've been trying and you can't do it. There's got to be a better way.
So that's one of the things. Like, there's so many. I at my office, I'm at the lake today. At my office, up on my wall, are all your little Hankisms, and it's, I love to pull them down and go, yep, that one right there. So the P&L, we got our P&L in order, and you know, you and I. Here's what I did. I went through kind of like the last year and wrote down some highlights of where we were. And I think this is important because so many people think that coaching is going to be the solution to all their problems. Right. And here's what I took out of the last year of coaching with you is you planted a lot of seeds with me along the way. And so, you know, I have circled in here, I'm gonna jump forward to jump back, but Kajabi, I circled on 426. We had a conversation to move referrals for a living to Kajabi, to a separate Kajabi. And I didn't do that until October of this year. So April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months, but you planted the seed with me in April. And so going back to, and that wasn't the first time.
For a second real quick. A lot of people won't know what Kajabi is, and it's the platform that Gail used to build referrals for a living on. Now, when we started, we built it through my Kajabi, which, guys, I was taking 50% of that income. What I did was I encouraged Gail to be self-sufficient and build it on her own platform, which now I take nothing of. Now, this goes against everything that any business coach will ever teach you. Here's why I'm different. I come from abundance, and I make great people decisions. I make dumb business decisions. Most would say what I did was a dumb business decision. However, I will say for Gail and Steve, it was a great people decision because they no longer need me. However, they're not going anywhere. And the more success I can help you guys have, the more success I naturally have. It's just a different philosophy. It should give you a little insight on how I think.
Well, that's the ripple effect, is you help enough people create and make the right choices in their life. And you are always attached to those decisions that I make. And I remember one time this year, I just thanked you. I was like, man, thanks so much for pouring into me and helping me to understand and live life. And you said, hey, you have to take the credit, because if I take the credit for your good, I have to take the credit for your bad when you don't do it, when you suck. I'm like, okay, duly noted.
Well, and let's look at this. This is where people go wrong, because if I would have kept you on my Kajabi, that's addition. By me doing subtraction, it's multiplication, because it keeps my life, simple. See, because here's the thing is when there's billing issues or customers, whatever the case may be, I've subtracted, moved that onto your plate because they're truly your customers, which has allowed my life to remain simpler. And by my life being simpler, it keeps me happier. By your life being more profitable, and see, this is a different way of thinking. Most people say add more. I say subtract, and subtraction leads to multiplication. Now, Gail, you know a little bit more about my numbers. The money that I'm not making off of having that on my plate, we're going to make much more together in other streams, aren't we?
Yes. And that's the interesting thing. So really 2 streams of income in 2017. And I ended the year this year with 6. That's multiplication. And I added some things in, like I learned Kajabi. Sometimes you have, like, it's pulling the arrow backwards, because when you embrace something new, there's a learning curve to it, just like EXP. That was this was a transitional year for us. And you planted the seed of EXP 18 months ago, but you never pushed it. We had our own brokerage. We were fine. But through the conversations and through the observation that Steve and I had, because see, here's the key ingredient, I believe, is like, if you were talking to me about something, but you weren't putting forth the effort and you weren't consistent yourself in it, would I buy into it?
Nope. And the reality is, you saw, because I share my story, and guys, a lot of you aren't sharing your story enough. Gary Vee does a great job of the days of faking it till you make it. You don't have to arrive. Gail, do you mind sharing on Kajabi how much money you've made on your own platform? Like, we're not talking tens of thousands of dollars. It's a few $1,000s. Yeah, guys, here's the thing is, now Gail has the ability, if she has an idea to go help people, she can now go implement it. And guys, write this down: speed of implementation. What Gail can do now, because she's gone and created her own stuff on Kajabi, is speed of implementation. And that's where most people fail. And Gail, now that you know how to do it, making your first $1,000 was much harder than making your first 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Fair or unfair?
No, it's fair, because you're learning. And and then think, this wasn't even a part of my mindset around Kajabi, but they have a affiliate program too, that because they want those of us who are out creating some exciting things to be able to share and give to others, but get paid back for that. So I wrote that.
Can I share with you? Sure. By just sharing Kajabi, because I use it and I can't sell anything I don't believe in. Kajabi, the last 3 months, I've made over $400 just by me talking about something that I'm using. See, one of the ways that I think is, if there's something that I'm using in my business, and there's something like a send out cards or a Kajabi that has a platform that I can get paid on referring it versus one that doesn't, I'll use the one, if they're apples to apples, that has a pay feature to it. Now, I won't sell anything I don't believe in. In fact, I don't sell it. All I do is talk to it, and we're getting the equivalent of a Jeep payment by just talking about it.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about and community, because Kajabi, it was in April, it was in June, and I went to 3 retreats at the Orenda in September, and every one of them, Kajabi was just a part of what we talked about. And finally, at the 3rd retreat, I signed up for the full year. I said, you're all in or you're all out. So I said, this is something I need to do. Yeah. And it was kind of painful, but surrounding it, like community. Peter Weller, Peter's on this call today. Peter Weller was instrumental in helping me move my referrals for a living class from your platform over to mine. I don't think I would have done it myself very effectively. So what do when you need help? You find someone who's smarter than you, and you employ them to help.
And let me speak to that real quick too, is because every time I subtract gives an opportunity to somebody else. Rather than me having to be the Kajabi expert, Peter came in and I brought Kajabi to Peter. Peter came in and just fell in love with it and started running and is outpacing me now. By me giving Peter a hand up, now his level with Kajabi is way above mine. Now he's helping me out because through abundance, guys, and this is where subtraction gave Peter the opportunity. Now Peter's able to help me. He's able to help Gail. And guys, the beauty of this is we run parallel. We don't have partnerships. And what I mean by that is if at any time we don't want to run together, it's okay. It doesn't cause harm to the other. And so that's where subtraction becomes multiplication, because how loyal do you think Gail and Peter are? Even though we have no contracts, we have no thumb on them where they have to do this or they have to do that. I've helped them get what they've wanted. Now look at Gail's inviting me on this webinar to help me get what I want. And guys, it's a shift in mindset.
Mm-hmm. and it's and you told me several times this past year, it's hard to say last year because it's only 2 days, but this past year you said, Gail, you have no idea of the web effect and who's watching you. And that's another reason why I wanted you and I to come on here, because I think together the web effect that we have, and with the 21 other people that have joined us, it's what we can, just living our life out loud, turning up the volume on who we are authentically allows us to pull in people that are more a part of who we are or attracted to us. I always told people when they say, well, how do you and Steve do such a great referral real estate business? And I said, because we focus on the core. We focus on the people who know, like, and trust us and who will deliver. You don't have to focus on your whole city. If you focus on a core of 150 to 200 people, they can give you everything that you need. And speak to 36 to Life, because this 36 to Life has been a game changer for myself, just a mindset, but also for a lot of people who are struggling out there in real estate.
Well, 36 to Life is you guys may or may not know, I had over 600 flights in 3 years coaching people all over North America. And 36 to Life was my solution on the purple unicorn. And here's what I mean by that. Is oftentimes we're aspiring to something that doesn't exist. And what I found in the real estate world is 36 transactions a year is doable for most single agents. And if they're just consistent with hitting that number each and every year, and they do it by relationship, they'll have to work less, because let's face it, if you work with an internet lead or a past client, which one's going to have less selling involved? Your past client, right? And it's going to take a lot less time. It's going to take a lot less just everything, yet you'll usually net more money. And so the concept is, instead of going from 36 transactions to 48, how about we stay at 36, work by referral or by relationship, and our average sale price or our net per hour will end up raising. We stay at 36, then we implement other streams of income. So let's count all the different ways that I get paid. Kajabi. Why? Because I'm helping people figure out problems that I had. We've got EXP, we've got send out cards, we've got all these different streams, because I didn't try to just add more real estate transactions, because everybody's like, let's go build a team, let's do a bunch more transactions. Like, there's a capacity issue. So in 36 to Life, what we do is we help you identify your best net life and help you celebrate that, because it's not celebrated to be consistent in our society. You got to do more, you got to do bigger. And I think bigger is one of the biggest things of bullshit that's ever been. Can I say bullshit? That's not my live stream. It's yours. The biggest line of bull is bigger isn't always better. Consistency is. And you guys are 3 to 5 years away from your life being completely different financially.
Okay, so let's look at that. 3 to 5 years. Someone might be watching this and go, oh, I don't have 3 to 5 years. Well, you don't have, so here's where we talk cost versus price. So if you don't implement something today and do it consistently for the next 3 to 5 years, you're not, where are you going to be? So talk to us about cost versus price.
So Gail, what I realized was my one-on-one schedule, I haven't advertised for quite some time. I've actually stopped taking people for a wait list. And yet there's a capacity issue. So what I decided to do is I launched what's called the 36 Select membership. It's $96 a month, where you will learn everything that Gail pays $1,500 a month for in one-on-one coaching. You'll learn everything that she's going to learn over the course of the year, meaning I don't change up my strategy a lot. I've got my strategy tattooed on my wrist to show the commitment of the formula that works. I'm going to teach you everything that I know over the course of the year for $96 in a training format. And what that means is it's me training you. It's not coaching, because coaching is different. What that's going to do is it's going to wet your whistle, so to speak, and 50 of you will choose the training. 20 of you will want to go to the next level. 5 of you want to go to the next level. And then 1 of you will end up being like Gail, where now we're more partners than we are me being your coach.
So, and you launched a beta membership. I'm chuckling because $96, like, okay, for 12 people will spend $96 on coffee in a week.
Gail, I spend $5,000 for a weekend, and I'll teach to what I spend $5,000 for a weekend in that 96 at some point. Like, it's ridiculously cheap.
So how, like, there, you will have an opportunity to check it out, because that's another reason I wanted to interview Hank, is to let you know that the proximity that you are with somebody who's achieved where you desire to be. And if you can do that and applying. So I sent Hank a message prior to this call. I said, oh, I'm so excited to be on there. And again, he goes, well, you've implemented, it's you that have implemented the things that I've shared. So kudos to you, Gail. And that's what you're going to get in the 36 to Life membership. You're going to understand the heart, the mind of Hank. And I'll tell you right now, if you can't handle an F-bomb, if you can't handle honesty, then, it might not be for you. But
let's sit there for a second, because a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear that if you're not consistent, for example, if you're not willing to be consistent, don't come, because part of it, a lot of the success that Gail and Steve are having is because they have been consistent, more consistent than 99% of the people out there. They showed up while they weren't getting results, and they kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. The beauty of having Gail and myself is we're real world people that have been doing it longer, and we can help you get the formula of what you need to do consistently for the results to show up, yet we can lessen your curve. 10 years ago, I listened to my first thing on digital marketing. We've done almost $265,000 in digital income, where people just go to a website and pay us, since 2016. Now, guys, it took me 7 years of hitting my head against the wall, and now we have Gail making, over $1,000. In fact, I think we have 14 people now that I've recommended to Kajabi that have made over $1,000.
I know, and I'm excited to get to the next. I'm halfway to the next level, which is what? What do you get for 10,000? What do you get for that?
I think you get the hat,
okay,
the one that Peter Weller wears all the time.
and so, like, let's talk about, you're wearing the Kajabi T-shirt. And Hank has, like, I was at the retreat when Hank went over the $250,000 mark and earned the backpack. And you guys might say, oh yeah, the T-shirt, the hat, the backpack. And Hank, you've said this, and I totally believe it. When someone walks into the room with a backpack that says Kajabi Hero, and you go, dude, that guy is someone I need to talk to.
It's a basic human need. We all want social status among the tribe that we run with. And the reality is we will fight harder. I remember I was $20,000 off from, I think, hitting 100,000 for the year. And I remember I knew when I hit $100,000, I got a jacket. It almost makes me laugh at myself how much harder I worked to go get that jacket, because I know it gave me status within our social network. And how many of you guys want status among your tribe that you're somebody that's a doer and goes and get things done? It's not about ego. It's about being a producer and somebody who goes and does things.
Yeah, it's just the t-shirt.
It's psychology 101.
Yeah. Okay, books. Let's talk about Audible, because before 2018 hit, I didn't have Audible, and I was a poor reader. I would read, I'd fall asleep, and you would, in 36 to Life, you have like a book list, and there's certain books that you'd say, okay, download this and listen to it. You know, Essentialism is one of them. Oh gosh, I read 25 books this year or last year.
Think about this right now. You are getting someone's decade in a weekend. Like the price that somebody paid for 10 years to put into a book, you get to digest all their best stuff in a weekend. Why the HE double hockey sticks wouldn't you take advantage of paying? So if you pay the price and you listen to that book for 3 hours or 6 hours, because I listen to double or half the speed, instead of paying the cost of having to learn the same lessons. That, like, to me, it just doesn't comprehend. Why wouldn't you feed your brain? So here, let me give you a success code real quick. If you have a gap, let's say you want to learn how to make money on Kajabi. There's people that have written books about digital marketing. Go read 5 books on it, or in our case, listen to it. And I guarantee you'll have more knowledge than they had when they started, and they're making millions right now. Mm-hmm. So sorry, you were talking about books, and then I took over.
And Millionaire Messenger is one of them that talks about how to set up digital marketing. Brendan Bouchard, it's amazing. Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson is another book. And
let's pause on Expert Secrets. Guys, I come from abundance, and when I read this book, I was like, oh! I was like, I can't share this. This gives me the unfair advantage. And then my second thought the same thing. And then my third thought was, I got to go tell everybody. That book right there gives you the formula to do what we've done. It's called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's brilliant. It
is. And I remember you challenged me because, of course, it wasn't on Audible. It might be now, but it wasn't. And you said, you gave me a deadline. And that's what a good coach does. They give you a deadline. And I remember it was July 3rd, I had to finish Expert Secrets. So what did I do? I went down in the pontoon boat out here at the lake, but I wrote in the margins, and the ideas that you'll get, you might not even know what you're looking to accomplish, but when you read that book, you'll be inspired with ideas.
Well, one of your taglines is believe in possibilities, and you do a great job of inspiring people to possibilities. And the reality is we're all spoiled little brats. We want everything right now. And one of my favorite sayings is patience with a sense of urgency. And we lack one or the other. When these seeds are planted and you start to see how things can line up, it's amazing. And so, you know, I have a saying is, if you haven't made $1 million in a year yet, your problem hasn't been big enough. Mm-hmm. Now think about that. If you haven't made $1 million in a year yet, your problem isn't big enough, because most of us aren't willing to go from good to go to great unless there's a big pain point. So what we're going to do is we're going to help reshape your mindset so that we can have it go like this until all of a sudden it goes like that.
The old hockey stick. And so in the group, and this group's just been formulated like within the last couple months, and you want to be a member of it. You want to be a member of the 36 to Life membership program. It's $96 a month. You owe it to yourself to invest in yourself, $1,200 a year. And, you know, sometimes we all look at the return on investment, and I think that's important to do, but I just following your formula. So 50-25-1. I've been doing 50-25-1 for, you know, probably longer than even 36 to Life. However, you put it into the formula so that now it's easy to calculate. Like you can
we put math behind it because, Gail, many people right now are feeling like, oh, crud. I pulled it off last year. Can I pull it off again this year? Because I'm not sure how I did it, because I did it by relationship, and this deal came from there. 50-25-1 puts a math formula and predictability around having a relationship-based business like Gail and Steve have for many years. It gives you predictability.
And so I add in the three cards a day because that's who I am and what I do. And I calculated this out. If you do the 50-25-1, add 3 cards a day, you're going to have 28,000 impressions on people in a year. If you can't turn 28,000 impressions on people into goodwill in business, then you might need to take a special help course.
Well, and what it gives us permission to do is it gives us permission to be ourselves. You know, I'm on here, and thank you for having me, by the way, in a hat and a t-shirt in my garage. And because it's allowed me to be my true self. And guys, so many of us are trying to be other things than our true self. Yeah, in 36 Life is we're going to help you figure out who you are, help you figure out where to turn up the volume. And when you turn up the volume, some people will be turned off by you. Yet the people that aren't are called your hypers, and they're going to move towards you. And what would it look like if 5 years from now, you were making exactly the amount of money that you wanted to make, working exactly the number of hours that you wanted to work, and you are now financially free? I mean, what we're doing is showing you that, because the reality is I don't have to work anymore. We have enough money coming in and residual income that I don't have to show up anymore. I choose to. Why? Because I still like buying stuff. I still love what I do, yet we've created a different lifestyle. Now, Gail, what I see is I see you guys doing the same thing. It's fun.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the reasons that and here's the important thing. Again, I go back to coaching because I've never hired a coach before. I hired you because I said, please, you have to coach me.
You know, Gail did. She sent me like 3 months up front, and it was near year end where I was trying to hit my final goal. And she sent me 3 months up front. I was like, okay, I guess I'm coaching you.
And just like when you made the offer, okay, you did it again last weekend. You said, okay, I'm like $3,333 short of my goal for the year. So the next 3 or 4 people that sign up for a whole year of 36 to Life for $96, then I'll give you 4 one-on-one and coaching sessions. And I'm like, sure. You know what? Hank always gives more than what he says he's going to give. That's just the law of Hank. You know, if he says that he's going to give you 4, what did you do? You gave me extra because
And here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to sell on the lowest thing that you can get away with. So with Gail, I said the first person that calls, I'm going to give 4. Well, she was the first person that did it, so I gave her 6. Everybody else, I said the next one will get 3, the next one will get 2, the next one will get 1. All of them got 4 one-on-one coaching calls. Why? Because when you under-promise and over-deliver, you have to sell less. And here's the reality of the way I built my coaching business. As a single person, we grossed over $600,000 in 2018. We've netted way over $360,000. I don't know the exact number right now. And here's how we did it. We did it by under-promising and over-delivering. Your $96 that you're getting out of this membership, I guarantee you this price won't stay here. Meaning we're going to freeze it at 96 people. You will get way more value than the $96 a month. And if you don't, it's okay. Just ask for a refund and I'll give it to you. Like, I want people to take refunds. In fact, at some point over the next 30 days, I'll say, if you want out, I will give double your money back. Why? Because if you're not implementing, you're not showing up, I want you out. I don't want your money if it's not working. I don't want your money if you're not doing it. Because when people do what we're talking about, like Gail freaking knocked it out of the park. So what happens is when Gail knocks it out of the park, she wants to celebrate me, even though she did the work. I was a small part of the journey. Now she celebrates. If I allow people to hang out that aren't going to do the work, guess what? Oh, I took Hank's course and, I don't know, it was all right. Well, you. It wasn't all right. You just chose not to do the work, and Gail did. So here's your money back. I want 5 more Gails and 50 more of the people that didn't do the work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Drop an F-bomb on your page. Close.
Well, and in that respect, it's worth that. So the reality is, if you do the work, if you show up, if you make a commitment to yourself, you show up, you do the work. And I gotta brag on Barbara Fleury here for a second, because Barbara, she reached out to me, and I'm still, like Hank says, Gail, you should be a one-on-one coach. And I'm still dating that. I haven't fully grasped that yet. But so Barbara and I said, hey, I'll coach you for free, because I want to get the feel of what it's like to coach somebody and to have that reciprocal. The girl's not, like, our first call, there was like 6 things on her list. She had 5 of them. She had time trade done. She had, she joined 36 to Life membership. She bought a couple URLs, and like, she just did it. Today, you challenged her on the call to do her Facebook Live, or you'd give her money back, and she's out. Well, she did it the first time. It was sideways. So what'd she do? She didn't whine about it. She just went in and redid it, and then there she goes, first Facebook Live. And she is a confident person. But here's the thing: she's one of those, like Gail, who's going to do it. She's going to implement.
She's also resourceful. And she's not what we call an MFer, because she didn't get put in the group right away, and you reached out, we got her in the group. And guys, you look at her traits, like Gail, will you remind me to send her? I'd like to have a one-on-one call with her also, because people like that are doers, half the battle is showing up and just getting into action and being resourceful. I'm not a magic pill. Let me repeat this. What I'm saying today will be the same thing that I'm selling 12 months from now. And what I'm saying 12 months from then will be the same thing. There's no magic pill here. What we've done is we've made it simple, not easy. Simple, not easy. Now, I want to give credit where credit's due. I taught a great class called Bold, and they had bold laws, and that was one of the bold laws. Was it's simple, it's not easy. And so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to help uncomplicate everything that you're doing. And I want to give one more formula. We're going to help you take whatever income stream you have, and you're going to do 80% of the work to make 20% of the money, and 20% of the work will make 80% of the money. We're going to help you identify the 20% of the work that you can do to make 80%, and we're going to have you forget about the 80%. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have you add another income stream where you're going to spend that extra 80% of the time you have to make 20% of the money. Gail, the money that you're making with Kajabi and the other things that we're doing is lucky if it's 20% of the other income that you're making. However, it's multiplication. Just like with EXP. Guys, I made over $200,000 last year with EXP. Like, that's incredible money. Now, that's not an income claim. I'm saying not everybody will do that. In fact, less than 1%, probably 0.5% will end up doing that. Yet, what did it look like the first 2 years? Nothing. Like, it was nominal. Yeah, guys, that's what happens, is you got to be willing to do within while doing without. And we teach the success code, which we'll be teaching in there. And the success code is how I built every stream of income, and I'll go through it real quick. You need a skill set. You need time on task, and you need experimentation. Think about any business that you've done, selling real estate, send-out cards. Until you had those 3, nothing else was possible. Then you get a victory, and once you have victory, you have confidence, and then you get to momentum. What we do is we created the success code to help you do that predictably. Wow, Gail, you know what? Sometimes I talk about this and I get excited. It's like, wow, we're doing a lot of cool stuff here.
Right, which is the value. Anybody, like, I'm gonna close with this, Hank, because I want you to have some free time to go and just do what you want to do for the next half an hour or 20 minutes. But here's the reality. I went from 2 streams of income that I was very profitable in and happy with to 6 streams of income in 1 year because of implementation. Time on task. I developed a little skill set. I implemented. I had a victory, which gave me confidence to then go into momentum. And I don't even feel like I've entered momentum. I'm still like you. What do you say? You have to go like 3 levels deep. Yep. In the success code. So, but this is the kind of stuff that it builds precept upon precept. So it allows you to grow, and you'll be nurtured and pushed, pain points pushed on, but that's how you grow. And, I have to look at, as I went through the year, It was in, oh yeah, 9:25. Hank says, "Hey Gil, you ready for a growth call?" And I got excited. I thought he was like ready to like introduce me to something or someone. And it was a come to Jesus meeting. And we talked about, you know, he was very honest with me about sustainability. And that's when I learned the three words of dependence, independence, and interdependence. And, you know, it's those tough conversations. What I've learned the most, Hank, in my year of coaching with you is how to have a tough conversation and not to know how to handle it, not to have to feel to be right about something. And you talked about that on our session today in the 36 to Life membership, that you don't have to be right. And it's understanding. So I went through that growth call with Hank in September, and it could have gone two ways. It could have like been totally like,
Well, you know, I'm going to jump in here because 99% of the people that I would have had that call with, we wouldn't still be in relationship. And it's because I cared more about Gail than I did with being in a relationship with her. And it was something that I felt needed to be addressed and brought awareness to. Now, here's the thing is, I didn't have to be right, and I was fully okay with hearing that I was wrong. Now, that's a key little thing that I just learned from my sister was, if I was wrong in that, I truly would have listened to you. Yet the reality was by me betting on you and caring more about you than our relationship. Now, guys, one thing I want you to look at is Gail is one of my top 5 wealth determiners. And what I mean by that is by us running parallel, I'm going to make a decent income by running parallel with Gail and Steve. I was willing to risk that income source because I cared more about her and Steve than I did about the income from it, which allows us to go to multiplication. And most people aren't willing to have those real conversations because their fear of loss. I didn't have a fear of loss because I know when I've come from here and I don't have to be right, it'll help us get back centered. So Gail, I truly want to applaud you. I still remember when I was talking with Ann, driving down DE Avenue right by I won't say their house, and I said, 99% of the people wouldn't still be in relationship with me. Gail's something special.
Well, I think that I give credit to you for being willing to maintain your standards. You didn't raise your standards with me. You maintained your standards with me. And I admire that. We can all learn from that. And so if you guys are interested in joining in the 36 to Life membership, message me on Facebook, and we'll make sure you get a link to get in there. And I don't know, Hank, you always give some kind of a deal. Like, you want to give them a deal for the next like 24 hours? I'm throwing that out there.
Here's your deal. I don't sell things. I feel like we're selling you in 36 to Life, so I'm going to let you in. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have an opportunity in front of you right now for $96 to jump in the circle, and we don't sell this. So here's the deal. If you don't feel it's worth your while and you go back and you watch the Time Management 365 full course that I used to charge $365 for, you go back and you watch the course on You Can Out Earn Stupid, which is another, $365 plus course. You go back and watch the virtual summit. And if you didn't get more than $96 worth, I don't want you in my life. like there's again, and I just don't have any more deal to give except a money back guarantee that it'll be an absolute no-brainer for you. And I like to run with people that can see an opportunity and will jump on it. This is one of those opportunities. So the door is open. Now, I look at this is how I've done everything in life. When I got into the hockey team where we won a national championship, I got on because they needed sweaters filled. I ended up being the captain of the team. When I did Bold, I got on and they sent me to Fargo, North Dakota in January, my first year. I got my foot in the door. If you're someone who can see an opportunity, I will help you get to the top, yet you got to show up. You got to show up. If you don't show up, I can't help you. If you don't implement, I can't help you. You will get the credit just like I'm giving Gail the credit, because I'm not going to take the credit because Gail did the work, because otherwise I'd have to take the credit for the people not doing the work. we are an awesome community. What you're doing is you're also paying for proximity of being around awesome people, because I don't let MFers in. And if I got to sell you any more on the $96, I don't want you. Does that sound fair?
That's
Felt
fair.
a little rough.
I wish I had the link that I could just post right now to the group. I don't. So that's I'm looking at some of the questions. Way to start 2019. Where's the link? Hank, do you have the ability to put the link in there?
Yeah, let me find it. And again, what's funny was, Gail, you messaged me last night and you're like, hey, are you ready? Are you doing an interview? And I've gotten to the point where I've set up my schedule so that
Peter's getting the link.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Guys, I've gotten my life where all I do is wake up in the morning and follow my schedule. Why? Because what we've done is we've done if-then statements with my whole life. If Gail needs something, I'm at a yes. Now, Gail, if someone gets too needy, well, I also cut them out. Where if Gail needs something in between a call, I don't care what it is, I'm reaching out to her. Yet, what we've done is there's if-then statements. How would it feel if in your life 5 years from now, you could look at your schedule, decide what to put in it, and you know exactly how much money you're going to make? Now, I can't guarantee it, yet what I can do is I can put in my schedule what I'm going to do, then I'll know how much I'm going to make. Now, does that mean that I say yes to everything? No. In fact, Gail, do you know one of the biggest complaints that I get? Hank, I want to coach with you, and you never responded. Because if I'm not in a relationship with you, chances are I'm not working with you. Imagine if your real estate business was one that if somebody said, hey, I'd like you to interview you to be my listing agent. Okay, well, who else are you interviewing with? And that they said anybody else, like Sarah Hamrick, who, by the way, had her best year in real estate ever, says this: I don't compete for listings. If the referral didn't come strong enough where you want to work with me, I'm going to take my name out of the hat. Now think about that, guys. It's a completely different way of thinking. So if you like what we're throwing down, join us.
Yeah.
All
awesome.
right. Gail, thanks.
Hey, Hank, thank you. Love you. I appreciate you. Like I said, I'm one of your biggest fans, and it's been a true pleasure being in a relationship and watching you grow your life, your business, your family, and just glad to be a part of it. Let's go do some more in 2019.
Yeah, and again, I feel like we're keep filling each other's buckets yet. Thank you, because here's the thing is, if I was throwing this down and people weren't getting into action, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And guys, you are 5 years away from whatever you want out of life. 5 years away. Let us help you get there. All right, Peter's posted the link. All right.
Yep.
Thanks,
See
Gail.
ya.
See you, friend.
Bye, everyone.